I am now recording. As I said earlier, I got in the meeting at 5:31, which was a minute ago. And I will go down the list and call on y'all for roll call. And as a new check-in thing, how about we do if say your name, pronouns, position, and if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? Let's do that. So Candace, can we start with you? B, can we start with you?
Yes. Hello, my name is Beatriz Gutierrez Malagon. I use she, her pronouns. I am a Senate advisor and coordinator for leadership at Campus Life, not a voting member of this group. And you said if I was a tree, which one would I be?
Yeah, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
I'd be an orange tree because I freaking love oranges and orange juice. I'm obsessed with it. I have to have it every day. If not, I'm cranky. So yeah, orange tree.
Florida. Candace, if you could.
Yes, Candace Martinez Doan, Assistant Director for Leadership and Governance. I also serve as the SGA Advisor, she, her, hers pronouns. I'm not a voting member of this body. And if I was a tree, I would be a mangrove tree because they grow in and near water and they can live for like 2,000 years, 3,000 years. And I love water. And ever since I was a little kid, my parents would be like, "You're not a kid. You're like an old person, like an old soul." And so that's what tree I would be.
Huh. I would have thought of it like that, but Emmanuel.
Hi, here. My name is Emmanuel. Um, SGA Senate. It's been a long day. If I was to be a tree, I don't know if you all know about this tree, but you can look it up. It's the strongest tree in Africa. It's called Iroko tree. It's IROKO. So yeah, I guess that it's a kind of tree they never took down, in history. So yeah.
Ooh, tough. Erica.
Hi, my name is Erica. Oh shoot, my video's not on. Never mind. Hi, my name is Erica. I am the secretary. My pronouns are she, her, hers. Um, if I was a tree, I would also be an Iroquois tree. Damn. That's just because in African folklore, which I grew up with, it is super tall and it is strong and it symbolizes wisdom. So yeah.
Ooh, Ooh, I love it. Wisdom. Francesca.
Hello, my name is Francesca Burton. I use she, her, hers pronoun FYA shadowing the Senate. And I guess if I were a tree, I think I'd be an apple tree because of my favorite season.
Ooh, I want to go pick apples. All right. Julius.
Hello, my name is Julius Gale. I'm SGA Senator. My pronouns are he, him, his. I don't know what else people to say. If I was a tree, I would be a California redwood because they're like the tallest trees in the world, and they're really nice to look at.
Ooh, Star Wars Ewok. Kayla.
Hello, my name is Kayla. My pronouns are she, her, they, them. I am a senator, and I think that was it. And then for the tree thing, I would be an ackee tree because those are trees that grow prevalent in my parents' home country of Jamaica.
Ooh. See Julius going like that. Mario.
Hi, my name is Maria. My pronouns are she or hers. I am a senator on SGA. And if I were a tree, I'd be the pixie dust tree from Tinkerbell.
Ooh. Gotta fly. Mati. Oh, Maki's in the chat. Oh, while Maki's typing, Rashad.
Hi everyone, my name is Rashad Devon. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I'm serving as the current elected SGA president. I'm not entirely sure what the tree types are or the species, but I'm going to go with the one that has, it's really, really big. The leaves are falling, and so are the branches. They're just like lazy, and they're just like hanging. I'm not entirely sure what it is.
A weeping willow?
Maybe. Yes, a willow tree, yes.
Oh, I missed Mati's here. She, her, hers pronouns. She's an SGA Senate. Hat majors, Spanish and law, justice minor. Wow. And if they were a tree, they'd be either a mango tree because they love mangoes or a peace blossom tree because they look so amazing. I've never heard of a peace blossom. I gotta look it up. Mena.
Hi, my name is Hi, my name is Mena, and my pronouns are she, hers. If I was a tree, I'd probably be either a sakura tree, like the cherry blossom tree, or a palm tree, just because yeah, they're both really pretty.
Shady.
Yeah.
Like, provides a lot of shade. I like those.
Mm-hmm.
Naila Benet?
Hi, Naila Benet. I'm a sophomore and SGA senator, and I'd be a maple tree.
Canadian, Canada. Maple trees are sweet. Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I use she, her, they, them pronouns. I'm a junior and the assistant speaker of the Senate. I was also gonna go with willow tree, just because of like how bendy the branches are, and like even when it's like really windy out, like they don't break. Is that everyone?
Oh, and the Z. Z if you're here.
They, them. I'm a senator, and I guess Rashad stole mine.
Weeping willow.
Yeah.
They're pretty. Yeah. If I was a tree, I would be a cherry blossom weeping willow or a weeping willow cherry blossom. Gives me Studio Ghibli vibes. Yeah. Thank y'all for roll call. I'll dive into late acknowledgement. Provided by the one and only Dr. Jasmine Lee, the Director of Inclusive Excellence, stating, related to our value of inclusive excellence, we would like to acknowledge that UMBC is built on the native tribal lands of the indigenous Piscataway Conoy tribes. We acknowledge the painful history of forced removal from this territory, honor their history as cultivators of this land, and respect the many diverse indigenous peoples still connected to this land on which we gather. So thank y'all for that. Thank you all for joining me with that. And now we will move on to the minutes. Thank you so much, Erica, for typing out very, very concise minutes. Excellent, excellent work. I hope you all had the chance to go through it, and if there's any amendments or comments made. If not, is there a motion on the floor?
I move to approve the minutes.
Ooh, thanks,
Second.
Wendy. There's a second. All right, general consent. CCC. Okay. I believe the next line of business. We never went through the approval of the agenda. My apologies. Is there a motion on the floor for the approval of the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ooh, we got a second. Okay. All right. General consent. Yes. Okay. Is Dr. Young with us now? I believe they might be running a little late. I don't see Dr. Young anywhere. So in the meantime, Rashad, do you want to go ahead with your presentation or your Doing the work.
Yes, give me 1 second to get myself together.
Yeah, sure.
Could I share my screen?
Yeah. Let me stop sharing. Okay.
Can you guys?
It's all yours.
Was able to see it? Okay, perfect. I was
Yep.
just awesome. So as you all, actually, you might not know this. So during every November of every year, the University Steering Committee, during the November meeting, we proposed general amendments to the plan of organization. If you guys did not know, the SGA Senate is part of 5 different senates that make up the shared governance structure of UMBC, along with faculty senate, non-exempt senates, non-exempt staff senate, professional staff senate, and graduate student association. All these senate have an equal say in the face of the university steering committee, and this plan of organization basically describes the roles of each senate within the shared governance structure of UMBC, and also goes over the shared governance committees and their roles and who they report to. So actually, I'll send a link of this in the group chat, in the chat, in the general chat of the Senate afterwards. But like I mentioned when I began, at the November meeting, we all have a chance to propose any amendments to the plan of organization that we deem fit. I just want to put this on your radar because it's not just a me job, it's not just a Kai job. It'll have to be a collaborative effort between all the senators if there is any need for any amendments. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure how we want to go about this. We could have a whole. I could share the link with you all, and then we could come back together and see if we have any proposed amendments. But if you guys could just briefly read over it, I know it's a pretty long document, but it's pretty interesting. If you're interested in the shared governance structure of UMBC, it's pretty interesting to see how the power is divided between all 5 senates and who has a say, which admins are which ex officios for which senates, and the basic roles of the shared governance structures. Their shared governance committees are all listed in this document. So I just wanted to put that on your radar. The November meeting is on the 13th. So any amendment that we are going to be proposing has to be finalized within our own senates beforehand. And then after we propose it to USC in the November meeting, then we'll also have some more time to readjust it if need be. But yeah, so that should be basically all of it. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Kai.
Yeah. Could you send a link through the WebEx Teams, and then we can make comments or see anything
Sure.
Asynchronously, and then we can come back together next week, and I can add this to the agenda for next week.
No problem. I just made a copy of it so we could, make comments to it and make edits. But please review this. This is basically one of the only things that USC will ask of you all, of this year. So if you could review that, and if there's any amendments that you see fit, please do. If you guys something that I want to work on is working on. I actually spoke to B and Candace about this, but the resolutions and the legislations that we push out are pretty, I don't want to say arbitrary, because we could use them when we're having conversations, but in the face of USC, they don't go that far, and it's not a problem within the plan of organization. It's not a problem within us. It's just the way that different senates are structured. So if you all could think of ways that we could have more effective ways of bringing up those resolutions and legislations to USC, please go ahead and comment those edits to the plan of organization on this copy that I'm going to share with everyone, and then we'll talk about it some more next week. But that should be everything. Does anyone have any questions? Is everyone clear on what the plan of organization is and what the USC is, and our role as SGA within USC? Awesome. So I will share this and I will yield the rest of my time to the speaker.
All right, thanks, Rashad. Is Dr. Young with us yet? It doesn't look like so. Okay, until then, B, floor is all yours.
Sweet. So initiative nights update. So after talking it over with the planning committee, we kind of discovered that the idea of having each of y'all present on your initiative will take a really long time. So because of that, we're gonna go ahead and do it a la iFest, where essentially y'all will each have your own virtual space, where you will be presenting your initiative, and y'all will be essentially repeating the script over and over again for the folks who are going to be jumping into your virtual space. That way we can make sure that the event is within an hour long, and not 2 hours, for example. So make sure you plan accordingly, meaning if you plan to present with a fellow senator on a shared initiative y'all are working on, make sure you do so for that entire hour. Or if you want to present on your own initiative that you're working on individually, make sure you let the senator you have a shared initiative with that you plan on doing your own individual presentation. You will only have an option to present in one virtual space. So whether it's by yourself discussing your one initiative that you're working on, or all the initiatives that you're working on, or if it's with your Senate initiative partner or partners on y'all's shared initiative. Kai and I will be checking on y'all to collect the name of your presentation and find out essentially how you want to do this, if you're going to do it synchronously or asynchronously, although because it's a la iFest style, we highly suggest you do it synchronously at this point. So if you were one of the ones who want to do it asynchronously, feel free to reach out to me if you have any concerns on doing it synchronously now. Thank you. That's all I have.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what if, like, how are people going to be directed to our internet space? Like, what if no one comes? Do we go to another one and email? Like, what happens?
If the hope is that doesn't happen, where no one comes, but essentially you will hang tight until someone comes in. And so we're between two ideas, either doing a gallery walk via WebEx or doing it very much on iFest, where the SGA website will have your WebEx links with the title name on the SGA site. And then this is something that will be promoted by the end of this week and all throughout until initiatives night. So the hope is that your peers will definitely be coming to see and check out what y'all are doing. Any other questions? Nope. Okay.
All right, yeah, thanks, B. And if anybody has any questions, B is always here for you. And I'm always here, as well as Maria. We're in the planning committee for initiative nights. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. But until then, I see Dr. Young, you've joined. Hello, welcome to the Senate. I was told that you wanted to get to know all of us, and if you have anything, floor's yours.
Great. I'm, as I haven't known you all at the beginning of the year collectively in one space, even though I've interacted with a number of you separately. And I really miss those nights with Monday, and I'm in my office and you're all hanging in the hallway waiting to go in, or I get to pop my head in and see what you're doing. And it's really hard to recreate those spaces. So I had to crash your party in a more formal way. And I'm here for no other reason than to say hello, to hear just a couple of things you want to brag about. It's also a job as the president of student affairs. I'm with Mershad and Zach pretty regularly, but it's my job to brag about you, to people who help you need. and make connections for you, other people on campus. That's also Candace's job, and you go to her first. But sometimes I have access to vice presidents and other people in a different way, and sometimes know a little more about where you might be helpful in the real-time moment. So we all work with you together. Me a little less pragmatically, the big picture. That's really the only reason I am here. I wanted to see faces. I feel like the world is still moving on somehow. I see these screens, and just, are there any questions? Is there anything you need to know? So I wonder, how much time do I have?
Half an hour.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay, then we're going to do this. Can people, we're going to speed introduce, like Nancy, she, hers, and I spent my last break between things out in mom's garden. Many of you know my mom passed away recently, and I'm so sad because her garden is turning to fall and will be her last garden, but it was such a beautiful to be out there with her, even if it was just an hour between meetings. So that's not something, so you can tell me something like that's, I'm proud of the garden. Or you can tell me something about SGA that you want me to know so I can brag about. And then at the end, if I've still got any time, which I hope we will, I just want to hear if you've got any questions or if there's things on your mind that I can help you with. So this, like, see how fast I'm talking? This is New York talking, really, really fast. Who wants to start? I'm using leadership skill right now to shame you. What am I doing? No, not to shame you, just to wait. Silence. Somebody always jumps in. You've heard me say that before. So I'll out silence you.
I can help get the ball start rolling. Hello, my name's Kai. I'm the Speaker of the Senate. I use he, him pronouns, and something that Wendy Zhang, Julius Gale, and Maria Quershi. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchered that. My apologies. Farshi. Thank you. Something we've all been working on was trying to achieve free menstrual products throughout campus, and starting out small with a pilot program first to see how management is, how to manage it, stocks and all that sorts of deal, and working with residential life and RSA to complete that. So that's something we've been doing. Okay, I hope that was fast.
Fast. Then you somebody else do it that way.
Okay, I can call on Julius. Has been working on something else also.
Yes, hello, my name is Julius Gale. I am a senator, and currently I'm in the works of creating a proposal to have college student ambassadors on campus, which basically are just so more or less specialists to represent students in their majors. Details of that will come out sooner. You'll probably end up seeing it sooner, probably no more than November, sometime in November for sure.
So are these students?
Yeah, these would potentially will become students, but I'm still working on it right now, getting data on certain things, but you'll see this soon.
Call on someone, Julie.
Good point. Wendy.
Hi, my name is Wendy. I'm the Assistant Speaker of the Senate. I mentioned that a few of us are collaborating on the Free Menstrual Products Initiative, and then on my own, I wanted to focus on sustainability stuff, and also seeing if we can get the day off for Juneteenth with summer school classes. I'm gonna call on Maria.
Hi, my name is Maria. I go by, or I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm a senator on our SGA. Aside from one of the initiatives that Kai already mentioned that the four of us are working on, my primary initiative regards seeing how we can maneuver around the recent amendments that were made to Title IX in regard to bringing a survivor advocate position on campus. Oh, also, I call on Mati.
Hi everyone, my name is Mati. She, her, hers pronoun. My primary initiative focuses around campus life engagement with looking at how to increase student org collaboration, like encouraging student orgs to work together on ideas and encouraging students to be more active and participate more in student life activities, as well as improving the I guess the aspect of diversity, inclusion, and culture on campus, like getting the idea of more so like cultural wellness or cultural celebration. And my second initiative goes around transportation and commuter students trying to find ways to improve commuter transport and commuter engagement in campus. And I'll pass it on to Emmanuel.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel, Hackton Senate, and my focus basically is on fitness. Basically, um, trying to dig deep into how students could still benefit and come together to, um, you know, come together to promote healthy lifestyle, basically. And I recently joined the athletic committee, um, you know, and I actually see that happening, which uh, what I heard at the meeting today, because we had a meeting today. So I see that coming uh, into fulfillment. So yeah, and I call on I'm gonna call on Erica.
Hi, my name is Erica and I'm the secretary, and my job has mostly been filing things. I like how SGA has everything put together in files, and I'm just trying to make sure everything's in order because I like things being in order. Yes. And has everyone gone? I don't think so. I'll call on Kayla. Is Kayla gone?
Kayla, you there? Um, okay, while we wait for Kayla, how about Mena? If you could introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mena. She, her pronouns. My initiatives for this semester involve I'm doing a collab with Wendy and being mentored by Candace to basically improve campus sustainability. And right now we're working on things we can get bring compost bins to the dorms and res life basically. And my second initiative involves around also being like advocating to students, like by working with the communications department on how to basically have students be aware of efforts that they can make towards being more sustainable. Um, do I call on someone or do we wait on Kayla?
I think there's some technical issues going on, so somebody next.
Okay.
Nayla Benet.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Oh no, you're fine.
Hi, I'm Nayla Benet. I'm an SGA Senator. I'm a sophomore this year, and my initiative is to increase engagement with cultural student orgs by having them do like takeover nights on the IGTV page from SGA's Instagram. So I'm planning right now that each week a certain day will have a certain theme. So music, culture, fashion, food, and a cultural org can sign up to showcase that part of their culture with that category and kind of get more exposure because a lot of their respective Instagram pages or accounts aren't getting the exposure and the engagement that they would like, especially during quarantine. So this would be a way for SGA to incorporate those cultural orgs and for them to increase that engagement and be more aware, and students can know, oh, this org exists, or these are who I can go to contact if I have any questions, or if I'm interested in joining this certain org. It'll be a gateway for students to be more engaged. And also my past initiative, as I was USMSC's co-director of communications and marketing, I wanted to increase engagement of their social media pages, which thankfully I am able to do now. So that was pretty cool. But those were my 2 initiatives.
Very nice. Anybody left?
I can go next.
Yeah.
My initiative is I've mostly been focusing with trying to support students through COVID, as well as trying to improve the health situation, particularly mental health. I'm trying to work with Bruce Herman with his Together All app that they're trying to introduce, though we're not sure yet if it's going to be this semester.
Who's left?
Hi, my name is Francesca Barton. I use she, her. I'm a first year in the FYA program, so I'm not a senator, but I'm shadowing Senate. So right now I'm just kind of learning about how the Senate runs and about everyone's initiatives.
That's great.
And if I could speak on behalf of Kayla Dunn, she is one of our senators. There's some technological issues going on currently, but is Kayla here? Is it working?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry, I cut off at are we introducing ourselves and our initiatives?
Yep. Or something
Okay.
you want me to brag about on your behalf when I go to other meetings.
Oh, okay, lovely. My name is Kayla Dunn. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm a psychology major, theater minor here. And I'm currently trying to work on broadcasting the arts to our school community, because I know that we're largely technologically focused, but I found that a lot of students that are, scientifically inclined have a creative outlets that, they're not always given the opportunity to explore. So I want to bring awareness to the outside things our community is doing around the UBC area that have to do with the arts. So like Okomoka, how they do their karaoke nights and stuff like that. I just want to find more opportunities like that for our students.
So Kayla was Kayla's last one. So keep on time, Kai. I think we've got some time to open it up.
Yeah, we did.
Did we miss anybody besides Mershad?
Patrick is another one of our senators who couldn't make it to today's meeting, but essentially he is working on trying to do sort of like a Greek life LLC on campus. And I can see Mershad is very happy about that.
All right, so the floor is yours. Is there anything that you have had questions about or that you want me to know about? And then you can go back to your business. But the other thing that's really happy as I sit here listening to you is that I realize even in this space, I know a lot of you and still remembered names from the beginning of the year. So this is really wonderful. And on some of the meetings we've had about the fall planning groups, this is really great. I felt distant, but now I'm remembering that I actually know people. This is great. So thank you for having me and for doing that. So what do I need to hear from you, or what kind of questions do you have? Kai, you can't rescue people this time.
Hello.
Okay. You can go first.
Oh, okay. Yes, Dr. Young. So I'm on campus at the moment. So I guess my question more or less is just how really I've seen some of the details. They just say like more capacity for students on campus, more events. What my question is, what's the spring really going to start to look like? Because residents on campus and people that I know that are looking to be on campus are already asking me questions like, how are things going to be different from now? Really, are there going to be more events? Is the rack going to be open? All these other different types of
There are.
questions.
So let me be really paint a dismal picture, only because I want to be really clear and honest. We won't have the time, so there's going to be things that we can do because it's going to be February. And there won't be a lot of indoor spaces where we can gather safely and do large events if what we're starting to see unfold across the country continues. If we stay where we are as DC, we will be an opening a little bit more and doing a few more things because we've been remarkable, and I am so proud of you all. I brag on and being careful because we're one super spreading event closing every day, and I never forget that. But we have done remarkably well. Not everyone knows that we are still testing random samples of students. Students will get a notice. We pick 100 people on Mondays, and they get a notice that says show up next on Monday and Tuesday. And all of those tests continue to come back negative. When those tests begin to come back positive, then we're going to go back to population testing. That's everybody, if you're not a science major. And so right now, we've been able to do a little more. We've been able to the 10 open all the time. But when we're inside, and if we see those numbers go up, we also know Maryland has relatively low numbers. But there's something called the reproduction rate that tells you how quickly the virus will spread from person to person. Want that number to be below 1? We've been below 1 for a long time. In the past several weeks, we've been adding up to 1.1, 1.2, and now up at 1.7 to 1.8. That means that every person that's infected is infecting almost 2 other people. And that's when we start to get exponential growth. So I just want to be really realistic with people that our goal is to be prepared for anything, just like we were in the fall. Our hope is we can do a little more, but the pragmatism for people really is based on the fact that they're because of this. I know it's not what you want to hear. I want you to know that when I tell you something, I'm speaking the truth. Are you hearing me?
No, you was cutting in and out, but I
So
got. I was able to hear
my
most of it.
turn my picture off. Sometimes that helps. That sound better?
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay. So really what I was saying is we don't know because COVID is reproducing at a rapid rate right now in Maryland and throughout the country. We have to be prepared for the worst. And I don't want people to live with us, come on campus solely because they think there's going to be more. We might not be able to deliver that depending on the circumstances and because we don't have a tent. That's my quick answer if you get the whole thing.
No, that's fine. The only part that was like interesting was the whole testing part because I haven't been like told to like, hey, come test for a while, but then you said the whole random sampling thing, so that makes sense. That's what I assumed was happening because I knew other people were getting tested, but I just haven't been like asked to get a COVID test yet in a while.
And since those other people have been showing up without much pride, it's been remarkable how cooperative people have been. And we keep getting all negatives back. So when that happens, we presume that the rest of the population or so little spread of the population that we don't need to test widely. If any of those tests come back positive, then we'll look for where that person lives and begin testing in that area, checking any classes he, she, or they may have been in, and making sure that we are in good shape. We've not needed to do that. We're going to be testing another group of residents next week. Arts majors, in groups of you all today and tomorrow, and people that are face-to-face class like dancing or music lessons. We sure we're taking care of that. And then right before Thanksgiving, there will be an optional testing period for anyone who's planning to go home, travel elsewhere in the state, outside of the Baltimore County region, or out of state or elsewhere, to make sure that we are doing as much as we can, good citizens, as we send people out and about to other areas. Question.
Yeah, that sounds really good to me. Thank you for that. I can definitely tell people on campus and some of my other friends who are looking to be on campus that information for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also had like a COVID related question. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember last semester a few people were passing around a survey where students could anonymously report if like their professors were not really being as accommodating. Oh, can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me?
I hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. Dr. Young, can you hear me?
It was breaking up a little bit, but I can hear you clearly now.
Okay, I'll start again. So I remember last semester there was like an anonymous survey that was going around, and it was for where students could like anonymously report if their professors weren't being as accommodating as they should have been. And I remember I might be wrong, but I remember that those survey responses, they were going to you. And so I was wondering if like anything similar like that is going to be implemented for this semester, if students are having any trouble with their professors, and if there was like one cohesive place where they could anonymously report that.
Well, you can, Mershad and I were talking, and Zach, today about making sure we get students on the committees where those things are being discussed. So they certainly can tell you and report to the provost office. We did a survey for first-year students this year because we're hearing a lot of positive things from students. We also have, though, we know some really challenging spots in the faculty. The good and bad news is those were most likely to be classes where students already had concerns. So for example, linear algebra, which is an incredibly difficult class, many of you are taking it or have taken it, that's still a challenge online. And so we're trying to figure out how to get that. So we've heard from cluster, and the provost office is working with how to help get that. But we do not have a specific form, but certainly we are going to have committees that are helping us understand that. And the dean has a representative in each of the areas that if you are not sure where to go, that dean's office can help you with a particular class or professor. And if not, someone in student government, Mershad, Zach, whoever, and then get me that information and I'll make sure it gets some. But SGA wanted to surveys, fine. We were really concerned this semester, and we have limited bandwidth just like you do. So the survey that's out right now, we did one to first-year students because we were really concerned about how they were getting on. And we knew that the upper class students had been through this once already. Doesn't mean every class is perfect, but we knew that they had gotten through their first year, but the first-year students had. So we did that survey, and right now we're doing a survey on health and wellness because we're very concerned about mental health, physical health, and what's going on with people both on campus and off during this pretty stressful time where not only COVID, but the world has come in to keep all of us a little anxious, even if we are not clinically anxious, right? Even those of us who normally are pretty carefree are feeling some of this. So, we are doing a health and wellness survey right now, and then we'll go back to look at some of that. If SGA wanted to do that, we would welcome it, and we really need you in some of those academic groups to help us know we still need to improve. And Mershad and Zach can verify that we literally just had that discussion today. So it's a great question.
Okay, thank you.
And if you've got suggestions, that's another great project to work on. Like
Great.
the
I'm
idea
glad to hear
of
that.
where you could support. It's hard to navigate, and I think that will help students know where to go. Right now, though, you can COVID, not completely anonymous. Certainly, they'll get to the right person for you as well. Going once, twice. So I'm going to be taking away that you have a bunch of work that's being done even in this virtual world, that you continue to connect with each other and make the campus a better place for people, that it's clear you're bringing in some first-year students to keep yourselves fresh. I love seeing that. And I think most importantly, I love to continue hearing each time I come that I think something a lot of student governments are not as good as doing as this one is. That's aligning what your initiatives are and your work is with both what students are telling you and what's strategic plan, so that they're partners across campus, and that with faculty, staff, and administration through shared governance, people can see the work you do as partners. Zach and Mershad, right after I met, I went to the now COVID planning committee instead of FPCC, CPCC, and they were talking about both the compliance group and the academic group, or the FPCC meeting, inviting members of this team to join us there. So you really need to be in touch with them to get that to follow through. Because they were talking about the partnership and how we need that voice there as we start doing the spring work. So thank you. And thanks for letting me play crash event. It was really good to see you. And let me thank you on behalf of the students who may never say thanks, and some of them that don't know, because the system also really loves a student government and constantly says that you're doing a lot of things right. And that really makes me proud to know how well you're representing us. And, you know, even I know Nyla Bena has been pulling together the planning team, even as some of us have stopped meeting and did that all semester. And it's just critical. So I really appreciate the way you've hung in there with us. And I'm here most of all just to say my virtual door is open. I you don't need me because Candace get everything you need. But if you've got an institutional level issue or you just have a career thing, I really miss you all very much. So please feel free to sign in, drop in. I've been holding Friday afternoons from 2 to 4. Seemed like a good time for people to pop in. So if you need to find me or you just want to come say hi or say you want to write a letter for my reference for my grad school application, that's often a really good time to get hold of me because we're saying my calendar was full. So Chef can pop you right to one of those spots. So thank you and have a great rest of your meeting. Appreciate being on your agenda.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Young.
You can't see me, but I'm waving and smiling a lot.
Thank you so much, Dr. Young.
Bye all.
Goodbye. Okay, I am in the process of sharing my screen and my computer is loading. Okay. Yeah, insightful words from Dr. Nancy Young, Vice President of Student Affairs. Always appreciate everything she does for us and Dax, definitely. But anyways, our next line of agenda is an SL that we have created, or I'm sorry, not an SL, jail, for allocation of funds for the Free Menstrual Products Initiative Wendy, Julius, Maria, and I have been working on. I can go ahead and read this all out loud. Whereas the SGA Senate is dedicated for the health and well-being of all undergraduate students, as well as graduate students, faculty, and professional staff. And whereas this initiative has garnered support and advocacy from various student organizations, and whereas the SGA Senate has authority to allocate funds towards Senate initiatives through the Initiative Fund, therefore, let it be resolved that the SGA Senate does hereby allocate $300 from the Initiative Fund for purchasing 1,000 counter menstrual products through the vendor of Flow to be placed in either residential halls or common building public restrooms for the month of November. Let's open up for discussion. Are there any comments, questions, concerns? Yes, Candace.
I think this is a great initiative. I'd be interested to know where your conversations are with Residential Life, or the staff of the Commons about the placement of free menstrual products.
Yeah, excellent question. So earlier today, actually, I had a quick meeting this morning with Dr. John Fox. He's the director of Residential Life. And I told him about what we've been doing, and he is in full support of this. And he has told me that while the nearest thing we can do is in the spring, so I might have to amend this to change it from saying for the month of November, which was the original plan. We will have to send an official proposal to John Fox as for like formality reasons, and then we will go ahead and open up the with continuing collaboration with Red Life and RSA. I will meet with Paisley. I think her last name is Martin. Yeah, Paisley Martin from Residential Life. Either this week or next week. Still ETA or TBA, TBD, still TBD. About how Res Life can also be a stakeholder within this. I do want to say that this purchase won't go into effect immediately. Most likely will go towards be purchased towards the latter half of November/winter, since this will be implemented in the spring. But this is just legislation that we have created. Yes.
And then have you had any conversations with the staff of the Commons?
Yes, sorry. I briefly talked to a handful of people. Joel. I talked to Joel, and I also talked to, oh gosh, I can't pronounce his name. It starts with an A.
AJ, Abdias.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. They are also in full support, only because they were mainly worried about the financial aspects, because they thought they were going to have to pay for everything. And I mentioned that SGA for the pilot test anyways would be more than willing to pay for the pilot run, since it's $300, and they are in full support of it. It's just in terms of long-term solutions that we're still trying to create a system with, due to ABM contract concerns, it's not in their contract to replace and restocking menstrual products within their contract. So we're working on that for the long-term solutions. As in terms of the pilot, we're mainly focused with residential halls, but the commons is our backup. I don't know if that makes sense. That was kind of a word ramble. Good? Okay. Are there any more questions or comments or?
I got a quick question.
Yeah, definitely.
So just to be sure, I was reading over this. This is basically for residents on campus, right?
For the time being, because we noticed that the people on campus currently, because of the pandemic, are mostly comprised of residential students. So that's going to be our main target population for our pilot test run. But post-COVID, hopefully when that happens after like a year or two from now, post-COVID, we would want this to be implemented campus-wide and gender neutral restrooms.
And so was there like any what's it called, a survey? Was it run through the student or anything? Did you guys run a survey on that?
So in the past, pre-COVID, this was implemented through RSA for a summer and it was successful.
Okay.
So we do have data from that showing the success from it. However, that was during the summer session and not the typical fall/spring, which is more denser in terms of population.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on the chat here. Mario?
Yeah, so I just wanted to speak a little bit more to the funds allocation. So in this JL, we are specifically talking about allocating $300 from the initiative fund. And so I just wanted to like kind of make sure that everybody was in the loop with that. So that's going to be, our goal is to purchase that through OntFlow. OntFlow is an organization that provides free menstrual products to different universities like Yale and Brown. And those universities have some system implemented that we also want to model. And so breaking down the numbers, I think it's like $120 for 500 tampons, $130 for 500 pads. And so that's where that specific money is going to be allocated for. But I also wanted to bring up really quickly that we are looking into other avenues and other options like raising funds for donations through GritStarter and having an online drive through Amazon with a wish list. And one more thing was that the Women's Center, they used to have a similar system in place. And the way that they were able to supply these menstrual products was that they were in contact with a specific company. And this company is just responsible for sending out a bunch of samples for different menstrual products. And so they would get those samples for free. And that's definitely another avenue that we are looking into exploring, because I remember I was meeting with Jess Myers last week, and she brought up the fact that at one point this company sent them like 20 different boxes of menstrual products, and so they were like supplied and stocked up for years. And so hopefully that's a goal with us too. And yeah, that's all. I just wanted to give a little bit more information regarding the numbers and the funds and the allocation of everything.
Yeah, thanks, Mario. And we do plan by having that this grid starter as well as Amazon wish list, the online drive by this week and get it up and running. It will be we'll be running till the winter after the winter session, like that whole session. So yes. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, I'm not seeing anything. So there a motion on the floor? There are no more discussion points.
I move to approve JL 10-2021.
Second.
All right. And I'm doing something new. I created a poll.
Yeah. So don't type I in the chat, guys.
Yes. Answer using the poll. I think this might be easier. It's something we're trying to try out. And okay. Yes. Whew. I was tinkering with that while I was speaking.
Only vote if you're a voting member.
Yes. Only vote if you're a voting
If
member.
you have a question about whether or not you're a voting member, you're probably not a voting member.
Only senators are voting members. How about that? Elected / appointed senators. Oh, I can't vote. I don't know how to vote on my end. I'm gonna say I. There we go. Okay, so with that being said, I believe that is number of senators for is 10, including myself. All opposed is 0. Abstaining is 0. Not present is 1. And with that, this passes the Senate. Yay, our first allocation form. Yay, yes, thank you so much for following me and us through this poll. Something new that we want to see if we can continue on doing, because I thought it might be easier than just trying to count, because it does the counting for you. Okay, and then tomorrow this will be on the finance board, which I will gladly speak in front of. Cool. Okay. Initiatives update. Let's go to that. Cool. All right. Julius, do you mind starting with your initiative update?
I don't really have. Okay, I don't really have much per se besides like what you see right there. Just continually to get that stuff done in a timely manner. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head right now.
Okay, my computer's doing a thing before it cuts out. Emmanuel? Thank you, Julius. Emmanuel?
I'll say in progress actually. Right now I'm talking to a couple people right now, so yeah, I'll say in progress. Still on it. Still on it.
Emmanuel, while I have you here, are you doing synchronous or asynchronous presentation for initiative night?
I'm gonna record it. I'm making a PowerPoint, so I'm basically what I'm doing, which I already started, is my ideas. I'm gonna mention.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so.
Oh no, I'm not done. So what I'm gonna do is my ideas. I'm presenting my ideas and you know what I've gone about it, and basically what I'm trying to do every week, bring out every week, and the people I'm possibly gonna be partnering with, which I'm also working on. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing.
Cool. All right. Perfect. Wendy.
Mine is pretty straightforward as well. This wasn't one of my most productive weeks, but I'm hoping to hear back from more people and make some more progress with the Free Menstrual Products Initiative.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all good. For the initiative night, Wendy, would you be presenting synchronously for the menstrual products, or are you going to be presenting on your e-coalition / Juneteenth resolution?
I was thinking about doing the Free Menstrual Products synchronously with you guys, and I can also record like an asynchronous one if we're still doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I just had to I'm just recording what everybody's doing at the moment. Mati. Mati had exams, didn't get to any last week due midterms. I completely understand with that. So work is still in progress and have some meetings this week. Okay, and are you going to be doing synchronously or asynchronous presentation for initiative night? Synchronous? Okay. All right. Thanks, Mati. And I hope your midterms went well. Kayla. Oh, I saw Kayla. Not much. Still corresponding with the Okamoka. Okay. Same question goes to you. Are you doing a synchronous or asynchronous presentation? Synchronous? Perfect. Thanks, Kayla. Mario.
So recently, like in the past week where I was feeling that my primary initiative was going by a little bit more slowly, it actually picked up in the last week. So I met with a few people and I found out that everything is like up and ready and going, like I've mentioned before for my initiative, but it's really actually not even like the lack of like budget cut, or it's not the lack of funding from the budget cuts because of COVID-19, but it's because the Trump administration made amendments to Title IX, where if somebody reports a sexual assault case on campus, there needs to be support for the person that they accused. It's a little bit weird, but I'm trying to work with other people on campus to see how we can maneuver that or maneuver around that. And then I have thoughts for putting like a secondary initiative into action. I haven't heard back from the people that I need to yet about that, so I'm waiting on that. And for initiatives night, I am going to be presenting the Free Menstrual Products Initiative synchronously with you guys, and asynchronously, I am going to be presenting my primary initiative.
Perfect. Yeah, there's been a lot of conversation around the Trump administration's executive orders and the new guidelines that they have made university wide. So it's kind of a tricky area to deal with since it is a federal level. So I understand your pain. Meta.
Hi. So this week also is a really busy midterm week. Really got me. I think thanks to you, I actually heard back from one person about the composting initiative, which I'm hoping to hear back soon, since you already gave me the update that he's gonna follow up on me with that. And as for my other one, the Y actually did finally get back to me, and they did shut down my whole plan, saying that this semester might not be a good time for a partnership. And I'm not sure exactly what's the reason because they didn't really support me. But yeah, that was one rejection. And sorry for. Do I decide now if I'm going to do asynchronous or sorry?
Yes.
Because I'm not sure yet. Or okay. I'll probably do asynchronous too.
B, is there anything you want to mention?
I was just gonna say if she needed to think about it overnight, tomorrow morning would be like the last like final deadline kind of thing.
All right, okay. And do I send an email out to you?
You can let Kai know.
All right, okay. Thank you.
Cool. Perfect. Quick question, Mena. Did Dr. John Fox, ever contact you back? People from I think the conversation centered around the Shriver Center.
He didn't contact me yet, but I'm assuming he's gonna contact me since he already replied back to you.
Yeah. Okay. I would also recommend reaching out to the Shriver Center. That's something that him and I discussed this morning when talking about your initiative. they tried to do something similar of the sorts back in December, and when they were trying to again do the this proposal, the thing that I was told to do, it kind of got slowed down. So if they have any data or any support from that,
Yeah, definitely.
contact the Shriver Center. I'm not exactly sure who in the Shriver Center, but that's a great area to start in.
Okay, I'm gonna wait for him to first email me back because I'm pretty sure he's gonna give me the contact info, hopefully. But if he doesn't email me back soon this week, I probably will try to get because I did follow up on him a couple days ago, but he still hasn't replied. But yeah, thank you so much, Ty.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always here. And
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Nana.
And so I'm gonna update this. It's just that every single time I do the thing on my phone, since I have direct access, and it basically deletes all my data every time I try to like get to this page. So I'll do it soon. I'm so sorry. I always forget to update this.
Yeah, no worries. Naila Benet, I think you typed in the chat. Everything is the same with my initiative. I have yet to meet with Joshua and Will this Sunday, so I'll keep you all updated and presenting synchronously for initiative tonight. Cool. Thanks. Sounds all good, good in the hood. I don't know if the kids are saying that now. No? Okay. Patrick is not here with the Z. Z says mostly just brainstorming how to get students to engage with Together All when it launches. Candace suggested some sort of financial incentive, so I'm trying to figure out that in asynchronous. Cool. Yeah, Michelle, please update us on behalf of Patrick's behalf, and thank you, Z, for your update.
So, they had a meeting with David Clareman, and they found out that they need to have departmental support for the Greek advisor in order for the Greek LLC idea to come to fruition. There's also a lot of pushback about the first L in the living learning community, the second L, which is the learning portion. I just wanted to make sure that there is a course corresponding to Greek students, and there's someone teaching it. And Corey, which is a Greek advisor, is willing to teach that. However, we don't know yet if he has departmental support from Campus Life as of now, yes or not. Just because if this LLC is something that happens to come to fruition, it would have to be housed under Campus Life because it's not academic heavy. If that makes sense. But that's where it is right now. We're just trying to figure out if Corey has that departmental support or not.
Wonderful. I guess entrepreneurship isn't really academic based. I don't know if that could be a case argued against it or for it. But Rashad, on a slim chance, do you happen to know if Patrick might be doing his presentation synchronously or asynchronously for initiative night?
I do not.
Okay, that's okay. I'll reach back with him later. Wonderful. And we already said with Z. My update, I think I kind of went through it during our JL, but essentially met with John Fox and garnered support from him, as well as Julius and I. We both attended our kind of like a meeting with the Society of Women Engineers, and garnered their support. The Retriever, as well as the Pre-Med Society, the president of Pre-Med Society, and somebody from the Retriever will be attending our meeting with the FYAs this Thursday at 6. So if y'all are interested, come on by. But that sounds wonderful. Okay. Cool. And we'll go to shared governance communities. And here's a quick update from I can't remember what the acronym for IES stands for, but the international students that we wrote the resolution earlier this semester.
Kai, I think it's International Education Services.
Yeah. You and Zachary were in this meeting, so if you could just give us like a brief update, that would be most appreciated.
Sure. So I'm actually gonna send the link to this document in the chat, just if everyone wants to like scroll along, and then I have my own notes as well.
Can y'all hear me? Still today?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so the reason that we wanted to have this meeting was based on Joshua's JR, like I mentioned, and there's not a lot of support for international students right now, especially given how many we have on campus. We have over 1,000, and around 250 of them are undergrad students. IES's role is currently undergoing a lot of changes because first, a lot of their responsibilities were for like immigration status related things, but it evolved to encompass more like addressing UMBC's global presence, given the current political climate with over 400 directives and executive orders. So international students are pretty stressed and they have a lot of uncertainty. So we've talked about some options to support them. They can like connect to each other through maybe a new student org, which SOST plan to follow up on. And we wanted to talk about some tangible steps involving SGA. So that includes info sessions to introduce what we do, both to current students with maybe infographics and also to students who get admitted before they're on campus, so they get some more exposure to who we are and what we do. We've also talked a little bit about I3B leadership training and multicultural leadership experience with some current programs for campus life. So this is still a conversation that we're talking about, and these updates are still ongoing. We're talking about potentially making an SGC if people are interested in that. Maybe a webinar and just working with students who might be overseas and helping them get connected to UMBC since they can't be here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I noticed this thing towards the very, very bottom of the document Joshua sent out called You're Welcome Here Scholars, and it's collab with SGA. Do you happen to know more about that?
I believe it's a scholarship that IES has, but we didn't talk about it super in depth.
Oh, scholarship. Oh, okay. Okay. I wasn't sure what it was. Great. Thank you so much, Wendy. I'm glad that our resolution is more accountable and that we are able to collab with IES in this capacity. Unfortunately, due to what happened, but yeah. Are there any other shared governance committee updates?
I don't think so, because a lot of them haven't met yet.
Oh, really? Okay. This might dip into announcements a little bit, but next week I will be. Oh, Julie says classroom tomorrow. Cool. Next week I will be creating legislation for what we talked about last week about having FYAs being appointees for committees that we can't make it and can sit on our behalf in case of an emergency that comes up. So TBD on that for next week. Are there any announcements?
Yes, have to.
Okay.
All right, perfect. So, like Dr. Young, could I share my screen? Do you mind, Kai?
Yeah, let me unshare.
Awesome. So, as Dr. Young mentioned, a lot of the COVID-19 planning, coordinating committee work groups have started meeting, and they are looking for student, representatives to give you guys a little bit of context, we fought like tooth and blood, whatever that idiom is, during the summer to get student representatives on those committees. And we were, able to get 12 students from different areas in campus. There was a few students from SCB, there was a few students from RSA, there were some few students that weren't even involved in leadership positions. But those 12 students were able to sit on 12 different committees on that work group that pertain to student health and well-being, which was actually chaired by, yes, Monty Tooth and Blood. I'm sorry, I did not know my EDMs. But it was actually chaired by Naila Benet, and we made recommendations, and some of those recommendations actually were implemented in the planning process for this fall. So work groups are meeting again. It's not the same exact work groups, but they're very similar, and don't have exact time and dates. So as of now, but here are the work groups. Again, this is not mandatory, but as Dr. Young mentioned, you're all supposed to be undergraduate representatives. And if this is something that you're interested in sitting on, you could just shoot me a text and, I can put your name down for this. So I just want to mention that this is for one of the 5 committees that exist within that coordinating committee. And this is just for student health and well-being. There will be more committees coming out for the academic side of things and, the academic planning for spring. One of those committees was Folio, which Wendy had the privilege of sitting on during summer. But there's a few other academic committees that we are going to be able to have access to this coming semester. So, I'm going to leave this up here for, a minute or so. You guys can look at it. If this is something that you're interested in, you can reach out to me and I'll put your name in and I'll recommend them to you. The only thing is I'm still waiting on, this was something that happened today. So I'm still waiting on the meeting days and times of these committees. But once I have that to you, I can, share that as well. But if there's any one of them that are interested, I can just go down the list and briefly mention all of them. There's one about housing on campus, student healthcare, student counseling, career center, transportation, dining, health promotion and responsibility. Yes, I will provide you guys with the meeting times as soon as possible. I'm actually going to share this with with all of SGA, and I'll just put the meeting times in the column that says meeting days and time. But again, if you're interested in sitting on this, please let me know. If you have friends that are not affiliated with SGA and would like to sit on this, please let me know. This is free for all. This is not just reserved for SGA students. And I'm also going to be sharing this with finance board and executive branch members and FIAs as well. So let me know. But I think that should be one.
Wait, Mashad, how is this different from SRG C committees?
So the shared governance committees are committees that are written into the plan of organizations. These are I don't know what's the word for like temporary committees. Ad hoc. Yes, these are ad hoc shared governance committees, and they only pertain to COVID related issues, if that makes any sense. So these are not
the ones you're making right now.
So these, yes. Oh, well, these are already are meeting. All 12 of these. Actually, I'm not even sure. All 14 of these work groups are actually currently meeting, and they're in need of student representatives.
Okay, so these are temporarily just for COVID to suit those needs, right?
Yeah, so these work groups only meet from now until maybe like the first 2 weeks of spring semester, and once spring semesters enroll and everything's in place, then there's no need for them to meet anymore.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to add that, I think Naila Benet and I were on some of the fall committees, and Rashad did a great job in connecting us. And I would really recommend this for everyone. I loved being on Folio. We're actually still meeting, so it's been really great watching how the community grows and evolves. And it's a really great experience for everyone to speak up and represent students, because I think that's ultimately what we're all here for. So if anyone's available or even is slightly interested in any of these, I would say go for it.
I'm going to thank you, Wendy. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. And once we have all the students in place, then we have weekly meetings with all the students. where it's basically structured like a Senate meeting. You know, you just come in and you share your updates, you give feedback to other people about their updates, and then they take their feedback back to their committees, and then that way we have more student representation for each committee. But it's a fun time. You know, you're making decisions on the spot with faculty and staff and admin, and you're recommending things for students. So you know, if you want to make some concrete changes, and if you want to, you know, provide feedback by the way that this semester went and make sure that, you know, next semester is even better, I think this will be the best avenue for you to take to be able to, you know, make that change happen. I'll stop by sharing my screen. I will put this spreadsheet on the first page of the shared folder for now, and I'll update it with the meeting days and times so I get them. Does anyone have any questions or concerns or comments?
Meta had a question about best committee for environmental/sustainable efforts.
Not entirely sure. That's one of, you know, the areas of focus when it comes to COVID-19 planning. But once I'll get more, you know, once I'll get more information about that, then we can reach out to you, Mena, and let you know which one's focusing on that. But I'm assuming housing on campus or campus life is going to be one that pertains to that. Maybe dining as well for plastic usage and styrofoam usage. No problem. I can take student healthcare transportation plan or health promotions. Also, Monty, once we have those meeting days, you know, in line, I will reach back out to you, and then we can finalize them. But any final questions or concerns for this event, especially for this announcement? Well, if any questions come through, you all have my number, and I'm always available on WebEx Teams 24/7. So just let me know, and we will work with you all to get you guys through if you're interested. My second announcement was election night extravaganzas on November 3rd from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. And it's an event that the Department of Executive Initiative has been working diligently on with the Center for Democracy and Civic Life. It's a shared event with GSA, SGA, and the Center for Democracy and Civic Life. So I would appreciate it if you guys could show face. Just step by, say hello, and grab some free things. Also, if you follow our Instagram page, there is free merchandise provided by the Center for Democracy and Civic Life, and the last day to get it is tomorrow. So if you haven't got that, go ahead and get it. It's free. You just have to put in your address, and it'll be shipped to your house. Any questions regarding that? I had one more thing. Sorry. Oh my God, I feel so bad. Awesome. So the newsletter is going out on the 31st. If you guys have any announcements, retriever reflections, or anything you want to include in the newsletter, please reach out to regarding your initiative as well. It could be anything. You know, Kai, like for example, the menstrual product pilot. If you know when that's happening, if you could put that on in the newsletter, it'll get some promotion on that for it. But it's going out on the 31st. So if you have any of that information that you want to put on a newsletter, please reach out to the Director of Extended Connections. Her name is Ekta Dariani, and I will put her name in the chat as well. But besides that, I'm going to stay quiet because I talked a lot. Thank you all so much.
No, you're all good. I just want to echo what Wendy said. Thanks for all your hard work, Rashad. You're on point, on top of everything. Always appreciated. Are there any more announcements? If not, I will go ahead and adjourn.
Sorry, I have one.
Oh, all right.
I forgot to mention this earlier, but for some of my office hours, I wanted to do games of Among Us. So I just wanted a reminder. I think Mena offered to help me coordinate, or was it Maria? I'm so sorry. But could you guys remind me who is interested, and then I'll reach out about setting up some dates and times and learning how to use Discord.
Oh, I just realized I could unmute myself. Yes, I just typed in the chat. It was Mena, and then it was also me. I can help out with the Discord logistics.
Mati, since the Instagram story takeovers are asynchronous, I'm gonna try to just do it when I have a meeting going on, just so I can like showcase what we're talking about and stuff. But for Among Us, I think it'll depend on people's availability, but I was thinking maybe Tuesday nights. Not every Tuesday though.
Yeah, Wendy, if it's all right, I would also like to be a part of this. Only because it sounds really fun. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I really want to echo Julius's Instagram takeover. Thank you, Maria. It, perfect, perfect, perfect. Love seeing your Instagram takeover. I got to see your meeting with B and what you do, and also how you fill out the SRC form. It's perfect. Loved it. Um, yeah. Are there any more announcements? Last call. Okay. Okay. So with that, I adjourn the meeting at 7:03 p.m. What? We did it. I will go ahead and stop recording so we can pass the gavel.